Hi, this is India with Bags and Lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching this video. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Let's go ahead and get into today's topic, which you can see from the title. We're going to be talking about upcycling, repurposing goods to make other items out of them, and I want to get your opinion. So this video originally came from two articles that I read. The first one being from the Fashion Law, where they were doing an update of the, I believe it was the Chanel lawsuit case with the Atlanta-based jewelry company, which is called, I have my notes here and I can't find the name of it. Oh, Shriver and Duke. Basically, if you don't know about the Fashion Law, check it out, but it is a subscription-based blog site, so I no longer have access to the free version of the article, basically, so I waited too long to write an article. So do this video. So I did find another video talking about upcycled goods that also fed into this topic, and I thought it'd be perfect to talk about that. So I will link that article down below, which is by JD something. You'll see the link to the article, which I thought is a kind of a valid kind of twist to it, where that article was talking about retooled, upcycled goods and how brands can basically embrace and protect themselves in the future. So first off, let's talk about what upcycling is. And anything that I'm reading here or anything that I say is obviously my opinion. It is not something that should be represented as fact, law, or otherwise. This is just what my thoughts, my opinion, also my interpretation of things that I have read. So I encourage you to form your own opinion, read things for yourself, which is why the article will be down below. So first off, let's go over a definition, like I said, for the second time, of upcycling, so we can just start off on the same foot. So upcycling, retooling, which is different from recycling, is basically repurposing and making a new item, which I have my notes here to keep me straight, a new item that increases the original value. So if you think about, I've seen on Etsy where people have claimed that they take a damaged LV purse beyond repair, because, you know, the thing is, if there's a slit in the canvas, they can't do anything about it. And they say that they're taking that authentic piece and making it into jewelry. So that would be something considered upcycled. And so there have been lawsuits with companies that have been doing such, because they're basically taking that known branded piece to make it recognizable, making it into something else and selling it without the brand's permission, and the brand feels like you're infringing on our rights. All right, so basically with upcycling, you are not turning existing products into raw materials. That's the difference there. You're basically taking something and making it materially different from something that it originally was. Like I gave the example about an LV canvas bag that made it into jewelry, or you see Chanel buttons that are being sold as brooches and earrings and necklaces and bracelets floating around. I've seen LV locks that are made into necklaces. All of those things are considered upcycled, repurposed. And there have been some companies that have gotten in trouble for doing so. Now, I believe the case with Chanel and the Shriver and Duke is still pending, still going on. I think it started last year, but it's still going on. But anyway, so first off, I also wanted to mention that was in the article is upcycling is an issue when you are using an existing trademark property, because you are, like I said, retooling it into something else. Now, some people have talked about the first sale doctrine, which this article talks about it, which is great because they talk about the first sale doctrine and versus upcycling. And so basically with the first sale doctrine, if you legally buy something from, like, let's say this is a Chanel sweater, I buy it from Chanel. I now own this, and even though it has CCs on it, I have the right to sell this because I own this property. But what I do not have the right to do is cut the CC off or break this sweater down and make it into harem pants with a CC logo on the hip and say this is a Chanel, these are Chanel pants, because I mean technically it is Chanel pants, but they weren't made by Chanel. So I completely made it materially different from what they originally intended it to be. So that's where the exception comes in with the first sale doctrine, which is very interesting. So definitely read into it because they have a lot of paragraphs. I just broke it down in like a couple of sentences, obviously for the sake of this video. So there have been several cases, and there's a few that the article references, which I already talked about a couple of times, which is Chanel versus Schreiber and Duke. That one's still going on. I think these other two have settled at this point, if I'm not mistaken, which is Harley Davidson and Urban Outfitters, where Urban Outfitters was taking, I think, Harley Davidson logos and sticking it places and without their permission. And then also Ralph Lauren versus a brand or a company called VDNS, where they were apparently taking their swimwear and Ralph Lauren swimwear and doing something else that it was not intended to be with it. So that's where upcyclers, retoolers get into trouble. Now, I wanted to get your thoughts on whether you're into that type of thing and whether you still consider an item an authentic piece. If, like I said, if this was a Chanel sweater, I've now broken it apart and made it into harem pants, but I still kept the Chanel logo on it. Do you consider that an authentic piece or not? Because I do believe that there's some kind of, like, the brand is not considered a real piece. Let me just say it like that. I think the brands would not consider it a real piece because it was not originally intended for the thing that it was originally intended for. Also, there are questions about whether when you break something down from its original parts, like the whole thing doesn't come together, how can you actually authenticate and ensure that that item is real? And that's a valid question. If you have the LV canvas without the date code, how do we know it's the authentic LV canvas? You know, so those are two examples, and so on and so forth. So let me know your thoughts, because I definitely have been interested in the upcycled buttons as jewelry, and there's been a flooding of them on the market. You can buy them as jewelry already, or you can buy the buttons themselves from different brands. They even got YSL, Gucci, Hermes, like all different type of buttons you can buy, which these sites are saying that they are authentic. And definitely we already know with like handbags, there's fakes floating around. I'm wondering if there are real ones floating around. And a video that I watched several months ago at this point, and I'll link it down below if I can find it, but where a girl makes a very good case for why your buttons, your designer buttons that are now jewelry, may not be real. So definitely check that out. And she definitely changed my thoughts with it, which I kind of had a little bit of hesitation for certain things, but then she kind of helped solidify certain things. So now I'm like, you know, it's a good case. She makes some good arguments. So that's all I say. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. But I definitely know there are fake ones floating around. But it makes me question whether, do you even, I don't know. But anyway, I want to get your thoughts on it. So this article talked about how brands can embrace it, which I think are great ideas that they said, which is basically the thing that a brand has is their reputation as well as their trademark logos and their products. So why not embrace that and retool, I keep saying recycle, sorry. Retool, upcycle your own pieces. There are some companies that are doing that, and definitely throw down in the comments down below if you know of other companies that are doing it as well. But The Real has also partnered with a third-party upcycler, Atelier Repairs, and they've been taking unsold products from certain brands and making them into new pieces. And Altazura has a recrafted line where they've been doing the same thing, where they've been taking their overstock and breaking it down and making it into something else. LVMH has announced that they will have a dead stock site, which I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that and what they're going to sell. But you will be able to purchase, not you. You know what I mean? People will be able to purchase unsold materials. What those unused materials will be. Like, yeah, I'm very interested to see what that is. Whether it's just going to be really just access to a high quality cashmere, but there's no branding on it, or whether it's actually going to be a LV shirt that had an LV button on it that now they're going to sell. They probably won't do that. That just, to me, business-wise, doesn't make sense for them. But I'm wondering what this, like I said, the dead stock site is going to actually provide. That'll be interesting to see. And also Coach. I know Coach does Relove, where they take their own items, make it, spruce it up, and then you have a one-of-a-kind piece that they sell, and where that piece would have sold for maybe $50 to $60 now sells for $300 because Coach refreshed it and is now providing it. So there's some value with the brands embracing this. One, it helps with quality control. It helps with the sustainability factor because they have those overstock that's now something new and refreshed that they can then sell. Also, they can mark it up because, one, it's more rare. It's going to take a little bit more work to figure out what to do with it, and then also provide it to you. So I definitely think it's a great way to go for brands to kind of do that type of thing, to retool it and then sell it as limited stock. And I want to definitely get your thoughts on this too. I don't want this video to be long, so I'll stop talking there. Had to redo this for a second time because it was super long. But I definitely want to get your thoughts below about what you think about this. Do you think it's an authentic item when somebody takes Gucci leather purse that they say was a leather purse and then they made it into a leather jacket or a wallet or something like that? Like, do you can still consider it real? Would you purchase those type of things? Are you interested in those type of things? What do you think about the brands embracing that and doing something with their old stock? Throw those in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.